Carolina, Merging Soul Tarot. You're probably bored of hearing that. I'm going to do you a full moon read, and the full moon is at 4 degrees of Gemini. It's quite a strong full moon, put it that way. It's the full moon of our new moon that seeded on the 14th in Scorpio. Okay, so this will be coming through about 9 o'clock in the morning UK, and obviously you'll have to check the time. So what I will do is I'll pull you a oracle energy card, then I'll throw some tarot and pull you some Queen of the Moon cards to finish off. But we're having a look at what's flowering. There's been quite a bit of intensity astrologically, and I did do a read on the Mars reset. Mars is still combust the sun at the moment. There's lots of strong astrology. I recommend you go, if you're interested, go and watch Adam Ellenbath's Nightlight Astrology or Chris Brennan on Astrology Podcast, or you can have Dan Waite on World Astrology. That's mundane astrology, the events of the world. But yeah, it's quite a significant and strong astrological sky. It's been through November and still is. Okay. Right, okay. Let's have a look what's flowering for us from those seeds that we were germinating in. When was it? I'll just check the date. Sorry, I can't remember it all. 13th of November, so approximately 2 weeks ago. Okay, what's flowering, Spirit? So let's have a look at our overall energy from the Oracle of the 7 energies. Okay, let's have a look. What have we got? Oh, picked up 2. Okay. 24. Let it go. Okay. Love those hummingbirds there. They're absolutely beautiful. So I think we're going to have the energy. I'll just check it. What energy it is. Let it go. It's the energy of love. Right. Interesting, because the signification, the tarot signification for Gemini is the lovers. Okay, so it is the energy of love. So we're talking about forgiveness, feeling any resentments we've got, shedding any feelings, like we're the martyr, we're sacrificing ourselves. Okay, and letting go of any victimhood that's there, cutting the ties that bind us to destructive stories in our lives. We all have difficulties, we all have pains, but we really need to cut the ties of those. Oh, just check that. Oh, I have. I was a bit worried I wasn't recording there. That we cut those ties, yeah, that bind us. The the full moon happens in the first decan of Gemini, which is the 8 of Swords, and I have it up there. It's that energy of binding ourselves, okay? And we are talking Gemini air energy, so sometimes our minds get the better of us, don't we? And we tie ourselves in knots. So, yeah, releasing the pain of what's gone so that you can move into the lesson and relinquish the need to be right. None of those things are easy. If you've been doing that, we are in Scorpio season. So there's a lot of that, isn't there? Death and, letting go, endings, new beginnings. That's our kind of energy. So let's throw some tarot. We got the Muse Tarot here. So what's flowering? It looks like the flowering is the letting go, and it is probably within the mind. It's something's over with, but the mind keeps running over it. I know mine certainly does. Um, Sun sat in Sagittarius is the Eight of Wands, so it's messages. So open yourself up to alternative messages. Yeah, drop down into your heart. Your heart's fertile. Drop down into it and listen to your heart rather than your brain. If your brain's anything like mine, it rants like a lunatic. Okay. Oh, first card turned. Okay. Yeah, Six of Pentacles there. So that's that balance. Yeah, what's flowering? It's very interesting. What's flowering? So that for me is a bit, it's not a signifier of anything in Gemini, but it's the Six of Materials. It's the Six of Pentacles, okay, and there's flowers there, and that really reminds me of the Gemini twins. So it's really with Gemini, it's that sense of being pulled in two different directions. There's a beautiful thing called creative tension, which is excellent for us, but there's a sense that we need to let it go in our minds and let go of the pain that's in us. We keep things in us and we end up with that sort of carrying that pain body around with us. Yeah, I'm I'm getting things click in my head here. So we're all very similar in that way. Life hurts, especially if you're sensitive, especially if you've got deep empathy and deep compassion. Yeah, but there's a sense of needing to let it go. And we're in Sag season now, but this moon did start off in Scorpio. Yeah, and then we got the Knight of Voices, which is the Knight of Swords. Yeah, look. So if we manage to do that, letting go, we're going to find that balance. We're going to see ourselves in the mirror, see the situation mirrored in us, and we're going to be kind of, flying off like Pegasus. Okay, that's quite fast move. But again, as I said, the Eight of Wands is a signifier where our sun is, and Sag season, that first second. Oh, yeah, and look at that, the Emperor. So again, the Emperor is Aries, so Mars signification again. So it's that, look at her. I mean, she's orchestrating that muse, because this is the deck of the muse, that muse is sending out her waves, to the people. There's that sense, we've got this mountainous region in the background, and there's a real sense of taking control. It is that Mars energy. We've got Mars being reborn. So I think this is kind of a real call to let the old go, let it die, let it go. Look at yourself, allow the authentic to flower. Yeah. Um, and be able to fly high, move quick, have that clarity. The night is bringing messages and clarity to you, okay? And then you can have that kind of control, mastery. It's very masculine yarn energy is Gemini. It's air, so it's action, communication. So if there are things that need saying, find that authority within yourself and that energy to speak out. Because sometimes we ruminate over things mentally because we've been hurt, and sometimes it can be simply because we haven't spoken up. Yeah, And not all of us are good at speaking up. Some of us are, and some of our messes, difficulties maybe with what we've said. But for others of us, we're not as good as speaking up. So I think it's a call to let it go, but also to take the outward action. It's not just all inward stuff, this. So take the outward action as well, to resolve anything that is, you're having difficulty with. So we have here the 10 of emotions. There you go. That's the 10 of cups. That is that. I mean, look, they're dancing. It's a beautiful card, that. They're dancing. They're free. There's almost that seed of life, the fruit of life, the seed of life. It's that song and dance that is patterning, freedom of emotions, a real, and we've got the fly in there, and it's the 10 of cups. It's that beautiful cup of, where everything is happy and leveled. But unless we take a look at ourselves, have a look in the mirror, look at the situation, look at it from all angles instead of being kind of tied up with it, speak what we need to speak, take that energy to speak, and it can resolve. It may not resolve the whole situation, but I know for myself, when you speak up, when you put your boundaries in, speak your mind, lovingly, kindly, speak your mind, you feel free inside. You don't, I'm going to pull that because I keep looking at it. I put the signifiers up. Look, that's how we leave ourselves mentally. And I'm going to pop that there. We can leave ourselves there mentally, tied up, blindfolded, and we can't see the wood for the trees. But this is kind of saying, if we really, allow those things to be spoken, or it may mean to actually, walk away and let it go, literally. But often it's about resolving it by conversation. And then we got our Ace of Cups. So look, absolutely beautiful. It's like returning to the ocean again, not being cramped up. I mean, this Eight of Swords, it leads to that Nine of Swords, that total anxiety and sleepless nights. But this is let it go, take the blindfold off, untie yourself, look in the mirror, allow yourself to speak and say, take the authority over yourself, over your thoughts. That's really difficult. I'm not saying any of it's easy, but there's this beautiful promise of the 10 of emotions, the 10 of cups, and a new cup. So there's a fulfillment in those actions, but it's followed by a new kind of cycle for you. And as I said, with this what's the word? With this reset with Mars, as Mars comes out of the combustion to the sun, there will be a reset. It is starting a new 2-year cycle. So I'll link the read I done on this, excuse me, in case you didn't see it. But this is a kind of wrapping up. So whatever's come up over the last couple of weeks, since the 14th, are there repetitive thoughts? Are there repetitive things in your mind? Are there, are you getting surges of anger? I mean, it was a new moon in Scorpio, which is Mars, which, it can bring things to the surface, things you might not be in a situation already, but allow it. And you don't have to resolve it. You don't have to make it better. You just need to allow it and hold it. With Gemini, I'm very aware. Gemini is that tension, isn't it? I mean, this is just such a good picture in the sense of Gemini. It's that tension, isn't it? Of pulling in different directions. It's that the light in the dark, the masculine, the feminine, divine masculine, divine feminine. It's about bringing that yin yang pattern, okay? But we don't do that by hard work. We do that by acknowledging each extreme, So our love and compassion and our anger and, whatever it is that we consider negative, they're just emotions, okay? They're just emotions. But it's a holding of them if you just hold them. And at the bottom of the deck, there's the Eight of Materials, which is the Eight of Pentacles. So yeah, hard work. It's going to be difficult. Okay, again with the roses, it's going to be a difficult thing, but it'll be worthwhile. And if there's anything that you need to do, take heart, take courage. We have this is a lunation cycle that's ruled by Mars in that sense because it was in Scorpio. It's a water sign, so it is about emotion. It often brings out deep unconscious, it brings rubbish out from the depths. So, use that energy to move forward, to untie the knots, the mental knots, and any heartbreak or difficulty you got. And I'm not saying it glibly. Sometimes, as I said, it's just holding what comes up. Just be open, hold it, allow it to come, and move on from it. I'll pull us a couple of Queen of the Moon cards. Yeah, it's quite a strong message, that. It's lovely because that's why I love Scorpio. It's the death and rebirth, isn't it? And with that happening to Mars, it's a powerful opportunity to do that this year. It's something that I think the last time the Kazim happened in Scorpio was I think in the 90s. It was a long time ago. So it's pretty powerful. Right, let's have a look what Queen of the Moon wants to say to us. Right. Oh. So, yeah, look at this. Sovereignty. Okay, look at that. She's holding her moon, her world in her hands. Okay, she's crowned with stars. There's that sense, and it's, that sense that she is in control. It's a bit like, although it's a sterner version, that emperor. It's about taking hold of yourself, of situations, and doing what needs to be done. It may be just internal, but because it's an outward moving energy, it may be communication, words. If you're unhappy with something, speak out. And then we had pleasure pop out as well. Okay, so it's that pleasure principle, isn't it? And with the Ten of Cups, that sense of there can be pleasure there, okay? There can be pleasure. And this is the waning gibbous moon here. So maybe after the full moon, there will be that sense of pleasure. And because we've moved into Sagittarius season now, we do have, the Jupiter energy, that expansion and growth and abundance. So there's a sense that you can have that pleasure when you're untied. And I'll pull you one more of these. Yeah, look. And then the blossoming. Okay. So what's the flower? What's blossoming? There's a lot of petals and flowers here. There is something flowering. And it may not be what you want to see right now, but you've got to just hold whatever's flowering, good, bad, and ugly, whatever's flowering, okay? Because you will blossom, okay? You will find that sense of empowerment, sovereignty in whatever situation. And power and sovereignty is just over yourself. And sometimes that just means holding those polarities, Gemini, the extremities, the light and the dark, just holding them within you, that is how character's built, okay? Blossoming, you're going to blossom. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Certainly was for me. Hope that was helpful, people. Um, I shall do my very best. I don't want to promise anything. It's manic here at the moment in terms of projects I'm involved in. Um, but I want to be able to give the new moon and then the full moon reading at the bare minimum for you all. So put your bell notifications on. You'll see when I pop up. It may take some time because I've dropped off the algorithm where I haven't read for a while. But pop it back on and check every couple of 2 weeks if you don't want to miss. I'm not telling you what to do, just saying if you don't want to miss. If you did like it, feel free to comment below. Again, any comment, just comment. And if you did enjoy it, please like and subscribe because it helps to grow the channel, helps build this community. All right, lots of love to you all. Have a wonderful full moon. Have a fruitful full moon. Yeah, and hope you have a lot of fruit after you after you looked at your blooms. All right, bye bye.